So question says that mention any two adaptations of plants found in boreal forest. Name any two plants growing in boreal forest. All right. Okay. First of all, we need to understand like what boreal forests are, right? You tell me what do you understand by this?
Yes.
Hmm.
Sir, boreal forest is like boreal
Yes.
forest
Mm-hmm.
is like the rainforest.
Okay. And like they have really very tall trees grow in them.
Yes.
Okay, na? Further, like they are also called as taiga, Taiga,
Yes.
boreal forest. They are also known by the name of taiga, Taiga. Okay, na? And
Yes.
these kind of forests will be found in the northern part of the world, basically in the northern hemisphere. Okay.
Yes.
Plus the kind of trees that will be growing here will be coniferous trees. Like for
Yes.
example, pine trees will be growing there.
Yes.
Okay. Coniferous trees, I hope you can understand, like trees like this, for example, the Christmas tree kind
Yes.
of like that. Okay, no? So these kind of really tall trees will be growing here. So you can examples are like pines are an example, or for example, spruces. This is also
Yes.
such example of this tree of this. Okay, no? Black spruce specifically. Okay.
Yes.
So the kind of trees that grow in this now, like question is asking here, mention any two adaptations of the plants found in the boreal forest. What adaptations do they have? Okay, what adaptations do they have? So we know that the coniferous, the leaves are like needle-like now. Leaves are like
Yeah.
needle-like. So leaves are shaped like a needle. So what
Needle like.
exactly? So what needle?
Sir,
Mhm.
they have needle like leaves so that the water would not evaporate so quickly.
Exactly. The loss of water is avoided with the help of because of this. Good. And
Yes. And
plus they have a
whenever the snow falls on it, snow will like
Mhm.
it will not rotten
It
the
will not
leaves.
accumulate basically. Okay,
Yeah.
na? It will not accumulate. Plus it has a waxy cuticle. Okay, na? It has a waxy cuticle. If you were to look at the structure of it, it has a waxy coating on some part of it. Basically, the leaves will be having a
Yeah.
waxy coating on it. So that also helps it. Okay. Plus the shape of the tree is conical shape now. It has a cone shape like this. So thereby the snow is not going to accumulate. It will fall off from it. So this is an advantage. Okay, the question is asking you about the two plants that are found here. Now. So we have the example of the pine tree. You can give the example of
And
this spruce.
spruces.
Repeat again. Spruce, yeah.
Yeah.
Spruce or like we have the birch tree also, like white birch, white birch. So these are some of the examples. Getting it now? So hope this should be clear. Question number 23 is identify the type of reflection in the given diagram. So for the first one is obviously, is it regular or the irregular reflection here? Yes, Salima? You there in the class? Yeah. So answer this now. We have learned the first type is a regular reflection now, where we get to see that the angle of incidence and angle of reflection of all these rays are actually equal here. See, we have known about the regular reflection, like from a given surface, whenever a beam of light will come like this, okay, and they are going to get reflected in a specific angle, and they will be following the laws of reflection. Getting it now? So all these rays of light are following the laws of reflection here. So thereby it's a regular reflection. Getting it now?
Regular.
So the incoming rays of light, basically the incident rays, they are always parallel. But the thing is that
Yeah.
the reflected rays are also parallel to each other.
Yes, sir.
Reflected rays are parallel. So this tells us that it's a regular. But in the second case, are the reflected rays parallel? This one, this one, this one, are they parallel?
The incident rays whenever the incident rays go on the rough surface,
Hmm.
the reflected ray always does not go parallel.
Exactly. The
They can go
reflection
to any direction.
in any random direction they will be going. So
Yeah,
the second one is a irregular reflection. Okay.
irregular
Okay.
reflection.
So the question is, how does the properties of surfaces affects the type of reflection that is observed? Yes, it's a simple question. Think of this and answer it.
Properties of surface.
Hmm.
When there is a smooth surface,
Hmm.
uh, incident rays and reflected rays go parallel. And when there is a rough surface, incident rays go parallel, but the reflected ray go random.
Exactly. Okay. So you have some of this smooth surface like mirror or a polished metal, or if the water is still, if the water is not moving, so thereby
Yeah.
regular reflection will take place. Okay, now basically
Yes.
regular reflection is also known by specular reflection also. Okay, now sometimes also called as specular reflection. So that will happen. But if the surfaces are rough, like a wood or a paper or an unpolished surface, so thereby light will be scattered in different directions. So that's the case. Okay. Okay. Question number 24. So here you have to analyze the given flow chart here and answer the following questions here. Okay, now. So different boxes
Yes.
are made here and you have to answer them. So identify the plants that have roots, stems, leaves, or leaves structure, but they do not make seeds. And how do you think those plants reproduce? Okay, that's the first question. All right. Okay, okay. What do you think about the first one? You have to identify the plants that have roots, stems, leaves, or leaf structure, but they do not make the seeds. So what do we call
Uh,
those plants as? We know they are.
Sir,
Mhm.
they have no, they do not make seeds. Sir,
Hmm.
aloe vera? No, algae.
Yeah, for example, alga, it will not be a proper example. Okay, now you can give, but it the question is saying that they have root, they have a stem, they have leaf also. Okay, now,
Oh,
but the
algae.
alga doesn't have leaf or root, no. So you can give
Yeah.
the example of ferns. For example, ferns, right?
Yeah.
Like this one here, the one that you see here. Okay, now.
Yes.
So they have root, stem, leaf structure. Getting it now?
All, yeah.
But they don't make seed now. They don't
Sir,
make the
moss is
seeds.
also.
Mosses also, right now they
Yeah.
also don't make seeds now. So the examples are as follows. You can quote the example of these ones here. Okay. So
Okay.
so the next question, the follow-up question is that how do they reproduce? Okay, na? So these plants should be reproducing through a life cycle that is there's a known as alternation of generations. Basically what will happen now, they will be releasing the spores into the environment, and when those spores will germinate, thereby they will grow. Basically, getting it what I'm trying
Yes.
to say. Okay, now so they are they are either saprophyte or they are like gametophyte, meaning that they will be producing some spores. Getting it now? They
Yeah.
will be releasing some spores, and those spores, when they will be landing onto the soil, or if the conditions are suitable, so then it will grow. Or some of them will be producing the gametes, like they will be releasing the sperm and the egg. So that also happens then. Okay, that's the case here. So they will be doing reproduction without the help of the seeds. Getting it now?
Yeah.
That is the case. So plants like ferns and mosses, they do asexual reproduction. Okay, now. So they have spore. They are spore bearing plants. Basically, what do they do?
Spore bearing.
Ferns or mosses. We are right now trying to answer the second question. Like how they reproduce? Okay, now. So they
Yeah.
have spores in them. They bear a spore. So they bear spore. So what are spores? Spores are basically very tiny structures. They are very tiny structures which will be helping in reproduction of the plant. And from those spores, new fern or new mosses will be growing. Can you get them?
Yeah.
So hope that clears the question. So they will be doing reproduction without the help of seed, but they will be depending upon the spores. Okay, differentiate between gymnosperms and angiosperms. Okay, see, plants are of two types, as we have learned. By the help of this flow chart, also you can see that those plants that do not make seeds and those who will be making the seeds, right?
Yeah.
Furthermore, on that category also, they are further the seed making plants are categorized into two types. One that will be bearing the flower, one that will not be
Hmm.
bearing the flower. Getting it now? For
Yeah.
example, a sunflower plant, it has flower in it, so it's a angiosperm. While you have the conifer,
Conifer. They do not have flowers, so they are gymnosperm.
exactly. Okay, no? So
Yeah.
gymnosperms are basically further. There's one more important thing. Gymnosperms, the kind of seeds that they will be bearing. I'm right now talking about the gymnosperms. Okay, now.
Yeah.
So the seeds will be naked, meaning that they will be not covered within with the seed coat. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Getting it. So the gymnosperms would be producing the naked seeds, which are not enclosed in a fruit. The seeds would be found in the conifer, like this conifer, for example. This structure that you see, these are called the cones. Okay, no?
Yeah.
That is one thing. Furthermore, gymnosperms do not produce the flower. So right now, what are the things I
Yeah.
have told you about the gymnosperms?
So they do not produce. They have no flower. Like they do not produce flower.
Naked seed, plus they have no flowers,
No flowers.
no flowers in them. That is one thing. We have the
Yeah.
example of like pine. Pine is an
Yeah.
example, or fir is an example, or spruce is an example. So these are the gymnosperms. Okay. Plus, when we talk about the angiosperms, so the angiosperms are those plants that would be producing the seeds, but it will be enclosed within a fruit. For example, the apple. Where is the seed of the apple? It's inside the apple, right?
Yeah.
Or for example, some other plants also like sunflower.
Hmm.
So they will be having the seeds, but the seeds will be within the flower. Okay, na? The
Yeah.
seeds
Inside
are
the. Like,
inside the fruit, I mean to say. Inside the
yeah.
fruit. That is one thing. Plus, they have flowers. They bear flower. We have the
Yeah.
example of apple, or we have example like rose can also be taken as an example of sunflower. Got this?
Yeah.
So is the difference clear to you or not?
Yes, sir.
What did you understood from this?
Sir, gymnosperm
Hmm.
are like they do not produce, like they don't have flower,
Hmm.
and angiosperm they produce flower, and gymnosperm they have naked seed,
Hmm.
and angiosperm they have seeds, but they are inside the fruit.
Exactly.
Example of gymnosperm are pine, spruce,
Spruce
fir.
and fir.
Yeah. And
Okay.
angiosperm are example of apple, rose,
Okay.
sunflower.
Sunflower. Okay, no, very good. Okay. So that is the case with this. Okay, no? Okay. Hope question number 24 is clear to you. Okay, this
Yes,
one more
sir,
thing.
there is
Name,
one more question.
yeah. Name the question is name the kingdom in which these plants belong to. In which these
Oh,
plants belong to. So I suppose the question here is asking about all of them or like in general. I think in general it is asking. Okay, now see. Okay. It's actually asking about the gymnosperm and the angiosperm. Yeah, so they both belong to the kingdom Plantae. They both belong to the kingdom Plantae. The name of the kingdom to which they belong
a
is
plantain.
Plantae. Okay, now see, you have plant kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. There are
Yeah,
different kingdoms. For example, uh, different kingdoms like kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia are there. Kingdom Protista, kingdom Monera, kingdom Fungi is there. So
yeah.
there you have you learned of the five kingdom classification or not?
Yes, sir.
You have?
We have done in the notebook also.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so like there's a five kingdom classification. You have the kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Repeat after me. It's
Anime,
Monera.
Monera,
Let me write it down. Kingdom Monera. I'm writing in short. K is for kingdom. Kingdom Monera. Kingdom Protista. Kingdom Fungi.
Kingdom
Kingdom
Animala,
hmm, Kingdom
Plante,
Animalia. Hmm.
yeah,
So these are
and
the
animal.
exactly kingdom. These are the five kingdom classification where the organisms that are present on the earth are being based on the similar characteristics that they share. They have been put into these five kingdoms. Like for example, when we talk about the kingdom Plantae, so kingdom Plantae in this those organisms are put that are unable to move, that can prepare their own food
Yeah,
right now. Plus their cells have a cell wall. Okay, they have
yes,
a cell wall. They contain chlorophyll in them, so they are photosynthetic in nature. So when
yes,
organisms will be having these characteristics, they will be put under the kingdom Plantae. So no matter whether they bear seed or not, huh, what is their size and shape and all that, but still it's all these plants are like this one, this one, this one, this and this. All of them are part of kingdom Plantae. Why? Because they are photosynthetic. They can't move on their own. They are autotrophs. They have a cell wall.
yeah,
That is the criteria. Okay, now hope that clears your question. Clears it.
yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Moving on to the next question here. Just 1 minute. Read the question. What the question is saying.
Sir, can you go up?
Yeah. Sorry.
It was suspected that a particle sample contains the components X, Y, and Z. To check this, the sample mixture was analyzed by paper chromatography. The result of the experiment is shown below. Which
Okay. Hmm.
suspected components are present in the sample X, Y, and Z?
Hmm. And how did you found out the presence of
Presence of
that
the
component in the
component
result?
in the result.
Okay. Let's understand the question first of all. Okay, now. So
Yeah.
question is saying that it was suspected that a particular sample contains the component X, Y, and Z. To check this, the sample mixture was analyzed by paper chromatography, and the result of the experiment is as shown here. First of all, we have had learned about the paper chromatography in the class. We did
Yes.
learned about paper chromatography. So
Yes, sir.
what basically happens there in the paper chromatography process?
Sir, in the paper chromatography, like we can put an ink,
Hmm,
like ink
hmm,
color,
hmm.
and then we can check like how much the length or how much the centimeter it goes in the
Um,
water.
that will be basically telling you the amount of the different substance present in the mixture. Okay, na?
Yes.
It's hmm. Basically the thing is that it is a technique used to separate the components present in a mixture. Okay, na? And
Yes.
thereby you can study it separately. Okay, na? Like for example, ink, the black ink or the red ink, it is actually a mixture of different colors. Getting it now?
Yeah.
Furthermore, paper chromatography can be used in various places. Like it can be used to study the drugs. It can is used to study the dyes that are used in the food now. Like
Hmm.
dyes are added in the food to provide color to the food. Getting it
Yes,
now?
sir.
That is one thing. So in order to identify the nature of the different components, or even in the crime scene samples, like if we have to study some of the samples from a crime scene. So that will also go through a paper chromatography and we can understand it. Okay, then like for example, there's a blood sample, so that can also go through the paper chromatography and we can understand the different components of it. Okay, no?
Yeah.
Anyways, the question here is which suspected components are present in the sample X, Y, and Z here. Okay, now that's the question. Okay. So the suspected components that are present in the sample are those that are matching the positions of the samples spot on the chromatograph. Getting it what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah.
how getting what I'm trying to say? Should I repeat what I said?
Yes,
Oliver?
sir.
Yeah. I said that the question was asking you That hmm. Which suspected components are present in the sample X, Y, and Z? X, Y, and Z. So look at its position on the chromatograph X, Y, and Z, and look at its position in this one X, Y, and Z here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can we determine it? We can determine it by comparing the spots of the sample with the spots of the known component here. We have to compare it with this one. We have to compare it with this one, and we have to compare it with this one. Like this is a sample here, before and after. Okay, no?
Yes.
Further question says that how did you find out the presence of that component in the result? Okay, so there is something called as retention factor. Have you learned about the retention factor? Also in short called as RF value.
No.
RF. Let me explain you about this. See, talking about the RF factor or the retention factor, basically, basically will be telling you how much a component will be moving through the paper as compared to others. Okay, as compared to the other components present in the mixture. For example, how much this red one has moved, how much this green one and this yellow or this violet one has moved. So that is told by the RF factor, basically retention factor. RF here
Yeah.
stands for retention factor. Note it down
Fa-
somewhere if you haven't noted it earlier.
Yes.
So the presence of the component will be determined by comparing the different retention factor of it. Okay, so we'll be looking at the position of this spot on this chromatography paper. We look at this is the chromatography paper, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the question is asking you, how did you find out the presence of that component in the result? So we are going to look at its position on this chromatography now. For example, if a spot from this mixture aligns with the same retention factor value or the position as one of the known components, so that will indicate the presence of that component in the given sample. Getting my point here or not?
Yes, sir.
Hmm? Okay, no,
Yes, sir.
that is one thing. Plus, you can clearly see that. For example, look at the RF value of Z here. Look at this, and look at the RF value of Z over here. Does it not matches? It
It
matches a
matches.
little bit. It matches a little
Yeah.
bit, no? Okay, no? So that is the thing. So you have to compare it. Like this is the reference. What is it? This is given for a reference here. Okay, no? And
Yeah.
this is the actual test which is done. Okay. Like for example, if you have taken some sample and the component present in that sample deviates this much, deviates this much. So from the sample you can match it. From the sample you can match it. Okay. So that's how we are going to check for its presence by looking at its RF factor, RF value, basically retention factor. Okay, no?
Yes, sir.
Further question is asking you how why should the line be drawn using a pencil in the chromatography paper? That's a good question.
Sir,
Because
we're supposed to line the draw the line by the pencil so that if we draw it with a pen or something, it can disturb the it can disturb the.
Mhm. Basically the thing is the pencil mark does not dissolve in the water or in the solvent. Okay, na?
Yes.
But if you were to draw it with the ink, na, the ink will easily dissolve in the solvent. It will spread and it will interfere with the reading in the chromatograph. So thereby it will give us inaccurate result.
Yeah.
Understood now? So that is the thing. Now, which is the most and least soluble component in the mixture here? Yeah. So
Z.
the one that will be going up the farthest now, which will be traveling up the farthest. Okay, na?
Yeah.
Okay. So the question is that the most soluble which is the most and least soluble. So the most soluble that is going the farthest up now. So which one is going farthest up here? Is it
Y.
X? It's Y now.
Yeah.
So it is going farthest up. So that is the most and least soluble component in the mixture.
Z.
So hmm. So the one that is traveling the shortest distance on the chromatography paper. Okay, because
Yeah.
it is not dissolving in a very good manner. So thereby you have,
Sir,
yes,
I have a doubt.
yes,
Sir, there are two green colors, right?
there are two green colors here. Yes. I can see there are two
Sir,
green colors here.
but in the before picture, there is only one green color, like in the
Hmm.
Y.
Yeah, in this one there's only one color. Yeah, that I am also that I'm also noticing. Mm, we'll have to think of this, like why exactly it is in such a manner. Like there are two colors. I think they do look like same, but they might be different. I believe they might be different. I think. Getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
It looks kind of same, but I believe that they are different actually. Okay, no, maybe because maybe it's not clear in the image here. Getting it, Halima.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we are able to answer the questions here. Okay, now we have the given components are x, y, and z only here. We have to focus only at x, y, and z. Okay, now forget about this one. Forget about this one. Okay, now just pay attention to this, and this. Okay.
Yeah.
So have you understood the questions here? Answers of all these questions or not? Please let me know. I will be happy to explain it once again if you are not getting it.
Sir, I got.
Got it? Good then.
Yeah.
Now question number 26. Read the question. What does it say?
A weak magnet Y is placed near a strong magnet X as shown in the figure. How will the magnets move?
What do you think? Carefully observe the diagram, observe the image here. Hmm? Question is saying
Uh,
mhm, weak magnet Y is weak here. Okay, and it has been placed near to a strong magnet. So the other one is a strong, this one is the weak here. Okay, let us understand what is going to happen. This is the weak one, this is the strong one as mentioned in the question.
yes.
Weak and this one is a strong. Okay. How will the magnet move? All right. So we know that when a weak magnet will be placed near a strong magnet, the movement of the magnet will be depending upon actually it will be depending upon the orientation of the poles, how the north and south pole has been oriented. Okay, like
Yeah.
as we know that if opposite poles are if opposite poles are placed against each other, if two opposite poles, like for example, say like here north of the x here, north of the magnet x and the south of the magnet y is
Magnet
or for example south of the x or the north of the
north of
x
the
is
Y.
facing each other right now. So they were the two
Yeah.
magnets will be attracting each other, of course,
Yes,
and
sir.
the strong magnet will be pulling the weak magnet towards it.
Weak magnet towards it.
So weak magnet will be pulled towards the strong magnet. That is one thing. Okay, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Furthermore, let us consider another thing in this also. Like if the similar poles, like the north of the x one here, north of the
And the
x,
north of the X, north and north of
north
the
of
Y.
y, north of the y where, or
Sir,
for
they
example,
both will repel each other.
exactly, no?
Because as we know that light poles repel and like poles.
Exactly. But the thing is, which magnet will be pushed away? So the weak magnet will be pushed away from the strong magnet. Getting
Yeah.
it what I'm trying to say? So the
Yes, sir.
direction of the movement actually depends upon the orientation of the poles, or if plus if opposite poles face each other, the weak magnet will be pulled towards the strong, or vice versa. If like poles face, then the weak magnet will be repelled away from the strong magnet. All right.
Yes.
Read question number B.
Few iron nails and screws got mixed with the wooden shavings while a carpenter was working with them. How can you help him in getting the nails and screw back from the scarp without wasting his time in search with his hands?
Yes.
Sir, as we know that iron nails and screws get attracted with the magnet, so we can just use a magnet as wooden shavings, like wooden shaving does not get attracted with the magnet.
Okay, okay, good. So we are going to use a strong magnet here. So we are going to
Yeah.
pass the magnet over the scrap mixture of iron nails, screws, and the wooden shavings, right? So magnet will be attracting the iron nail and the screws since they are magnetic, while the wooden shaving, which is non-magnetic, will be left behind. Okay, na? Further, once the nails and screws will be sticking to the magnet, you can easily remove them with the help of your hand. You can remove it then. Getting it now? So that
Yes.
will be the effective and efficient method. Okay. Okay. Question number 27. Read what does the question says.
Maya eats a lot of ice creams, pizza, and soft drinks regularly, whereas Amal includes all vegetables, fruits, pulses, etc. in correct time with exact amount of water in daily diet.
Hmm.
Comment on their food habits.
All right. So Maya is eating lots of ice cream, pizza, soft drink on a daily basis, right now. Whereas Amal includes all the vegetables, pulses, fruits, etc. So Maya's diet is including these kind of things, which is
Unhealthy.
unbalanced and unhealthy. The food
Yeah.
is unbalanced. Okay, na? It is not containing all the necessary nutrients. Okay, na?
Nutrient.
Plus her diet is high in these things. When we talk about the Maya's diet now, her diet is high in sugar, right? Her diet is high in sugar,
Yeah.
plus it is high in unhealthy fats.
Yeah.
Okay, na? Fats are also of two types. Some fat is healthy, some fat is unhealthy.
Yeah.
Plus, her food is containing so many processed ingredients in it. Processed ingredients
In
are present in it. Okay, na?
sir,
Plus, it is Mhm.
processed ingredients means that they are from the factories and all.
Processed ingredient basically will be those kind. They will be prepared in such a manner, na? Like for example, you can understand it in this manner. Like you have there's some addition has been done here. Okay, na? Getting it now. Plus those are the things, for example, these the foods will be changed from their natural state. The processed food is not in their natural state. Like for example, it might have gone through canning, or it might have gone through the freezing method. Okay, na? Some of the things might have been added in it. Getting it now. For
Yes.
example, you have a normal salt or you have a processed salt. Getting it? So there's a difference between the two. Processed salt will not be healthy, while the normal salt will be healthy. Or processed food, for example, the packaged snacks that we eat, the snacks that comes in packet, that is also processed food. The snack is basically what is the snack made up of? Those are potato chips or wheat will be used in the snacks to make it, no?
Yeah.
But are they in their natural state? It has gone through some processing now. Getting it, Harima, what I'm trying to say. So it has
Yes.
gone through some processing where some chemical substances or some other things have been added in order to preserve it. That's the case.
Yeah.
Okay. So while when we talk about other student here, like the other person is Amal, his habit is healthy and it is balanced. So it will be
Yeah.
providing him with all the necessary nutrients. Okay, no?
Nutrients
Like it
in the correct
contains
time.
exactly in the correct proportion. So it contains vitamins, minerals, protein, fiber, plus plus water, etc. So overall, his health will be good. What health issues will they face? So talking about Maya's health issues, so what problem could she face? What do you think? She could face problem of obesity. In a
Yeah.
long run, she can suffer from obesity. Like when we consume high amount of sugar and fat, like in this case she is getting it from ice cream, from pizza, soft drink, so her weight will be increased, she'll be gaining the weight. In the
Yeah.
long run there's a risk of diabetes as well. Okay, na?
Yeah.
She can particularly suffer from type 2 diabetes or heart disease as well. Her teeth is also going to be damaged, so she will be suffering from tooth decay also. Okay, na? So
Sir,
Maya,
scurvy will be there.
repeat again.
Scurvy.
No, that's a different thing. Scurvy is because of lack of vitamin C now.
Oh,
Okay. So the problems: obesity,
that he will face is obesity,
heart
heart
disease.
disease,
Okay.
uh,
Plus, I said it could be like diabetes as well.
diabetes. Yeah,
Okay. And tooth decay.
yeah,
So these are the problems she's more likely to suffer from. Okay. While in the case of Amal's health, he's less likely to face the health problems which are associated with this case of food here. Like his food is balanced, his diet is balanced, right? And it's a
yes,
rich in nutrient. So this diet is going to promote his health. That is the case. Okay, now hope that is clear. Okay.
yes,
Now, question number 28. So, here we have to analyze this model of photosynthesis and respiration,
and
and
respiration.
following are the questions which we have to solve here. Okay, now? All
Yeah.
right. Go through the question once, read the question.
In which part of the cell does photosynthesis and respiration occur?
Hmm.
Photosynthesis and respiration.
Let's observe, let's understand the diagram first of all, Halima. Okay, now?
Yeah,
So, in the given diagram here, this is the chloroplast. This is chloroplast. Okay, getting it? Chloroplast
yeah,
is one of the plastid found in the leaves of the plant. Okay, now chloroplast is found in the leaves of the plants. Getting it now?
yeah,
So, as I have told you guys in the class, like a plant will be having different organelles inside it. Now, when you look at the plant cell,
yeah.
see that this is plant cell, and this is the nucleus. See that this is the nucleus of the plant cell. So there will be some green structures present inside it, like this. There will be green structures present inside the cell
The
of the plant.
stomata.
I'm going to discuss about that as well, right? No, no, pay attention to this. This green structure that is called as chloroplast. What do we call this as?
Chloroplast.
Chloroplast. So chloroplasts are actually responsible for photosynthesis. They are responsible for photosynthesis. Getting it now? And they are
Uh,
present in the cells of all the green plants and present in the green parts of the plants. Getting it now?
yes,
That is one thing. Plus, the chloroplast contains chlorophyll in it. Getting what I'm
yeah,
trying to say? Okay, na? So the thing is that chlorophyll is found inside the chloroplast. Chlorophyll is found inside the chloroplast.
chloroplast.
Okay, na? That is the thing. So can we say that photosynthesis is occurring in the chloroplast or not?
Photosynthesis. Yes.
Exactly, no. So it contains chlorophyll.
Photosynthesis. Yeah, chlorophyll.
Okay, no. It's same like, for example, like you live somewhere. Let's say, for example, you live in a particular state in India or like in some country. Let's say you live in, let's say, for example, let's say you live in the Kerala, for example. Someone lives in Kerala. Where is Kerala? It's in India now.
Yeah,
So can we say that that person is living in Kerala, or we can also say that that person is living in India?
yeah.
Okay, now. So the thing is that chlorophyll is occurring in the photosynthesis is occurring in the chlorophyll. And where is the chlorophyll?
In chloroplast.
In the chloroplast. So we can also say that the photosynthesis is occurring in the chloroplast.
Yeah,
Same thing. Okay, that's the thing. So in which part of the cell does photosynthesis occur? So it occurs inside the chloroplast.
chloroplast.
Understood this now? Okay.
Yes,
Okay, we have answered this question as per this model of photosynthesis only. Okay, now that
yeah.
is one thing. So photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast of the plant cells, and the chloroplast contains the chlorophyll pigment that absorbs the sunlight for performing photosynthesis. What we
Yes.
know about respiration? Several times we have
Res-
discussed about this here.
respiration.
Where will this occur? So this will obviously occur
In
in the.
the
Mhm. Think of it.
mitochondrion.
Exactly, you're close to answer it.
Chondrion.
Mitochondria. Mitochondrion or chondria, same thing. Okay, na?
Yeah,
So it's the mitochondria where the respiration occurs. Okay, na? So
yeah,
mitochondria are often referred to as the powerhouse of the cell because they would be generating energy through the cellular respiration they generate energy. Understood this now?
Yes.
Okay. Next question is, how are photosynthesis and respiration
Respiration.
important process in living organisms? What do you think?
Photosynthesis and
Hmm.
respiration is important for in living organism, as like in plants, photosynthesis occurs in the morning and respiration occurs at night. And
It would be more appropriate to say during the day. Okay, no?
yeah,
Not in the morning specifically. So, like, question is like, how is it important process? That's what the question is. When does it occur? That's not being asked in the question, na, Halima? First thing, in order to answer a given question, is try to understand what the question is exactly asking and answer the exact thing. So, photosynthesis is essential. It is important as it allows the plant to produce their own food, that is glucose. Okay, na?
yeah,
Plus, it also releases oxygen, which is the byproduct of the process of photosynthesis. So, which is
and which
very
is useful for us.
exactly, which is vital, which is important for the survival of most of the living organisms on Earth, right? So,
Yeah.
that is the role of photosynthesis. Plant is preparing their own food, plus the extra food is stored in the seed, in the leaves, in the fruits, or in some case in the roots. Now, that's the case.
Yeah.
Plus, talking about respiration. So, respiration is crucial, respiration is essential because it breaks down the glucose that the plant is preparing. What I'm saying
Yes.
here, in the process, plants, in the process of photosynthesis, the plants prepare glucose, right? And that glucose is broken down where? In the mitochondria in the process of respiration. So, plants take in oxygen in order to break down that glucose. And as a result, energy is released now. Apart from energy, some byproduct like carbon dioxide and water is also released. Getting
Yes,
it?
sir.
That is one thing. So plants would be doing respiration, which is crucial as it is going to get energy from it, right now. So cellular respiration, or basically respiration, is crucial as it breaks down the glucose that is produced during the photosynthesis in plants, or into energy basically, and that energy will be used by the plant to carry out different activities. Okay, now
Yeah.
plus the thing is, respiration is carried by the animals also, by the way. Okay.
Yes.
Next question is, why is chloroplast present only in the plant cells? It's an interesting question. Why is it present only inside the plant cell?
Um,
Hmm. It has a very
Sir, does
simple
it
answer.
contain chlorophyll in it?
No, because only the plants are autotrophic organisms. They can only produce their own food using the process of photosynthesis. Okay, now getting
Yeah.
it? Like we animals, we can't perform photosynthesis. Like we are heterotrophic in nature. You know, so chloroplasts are present only in the plant cells.
We depend on plants. We depend on plants for food.
Exactly. Okay, now so because plants are autotrophic organisms, which means that they produce their own food through photosynthesis. So chloroplast contains chlorophyll and other necessary things to capture the light energy and convert it into the chemical energy, that is glucose. Okay.
Yeah.
Animal cells do not perform photosynthesis, so they do not have chloroplast. Okay, now had the God Almighty made us in such a manner that we would also have been able to prepare our own food, we might also have had a chlorophyll in our body. Getting it now? But the God Almighty created us in such a manner. Okay, that is one thing. Further question asks, plants can survive on their own because they make their own food. Plants can survive on their own because they can make their own food, but animals can't survive on their own but need plants for survival. How much do you agree with this? Do you agree with this
Uh,
statement?
yes, sir.
Hmm. Okay, elaborate on this. Why do you agree on this? If yes, why?
Sir, it is yes, because plants make their own food as they are autotrophs, and animals cannot make their own food as they are
Heterotrophs.
yeah, heterotrophs.
The main reason is the
Plants
main.
are autotrophs and animals are and they depend on plants
Yeah,
for
that's
food.
That's the thing. But why are the plants autotrophs? How are they
Uh,
autotrophic in nature? Because they have green pigment, that is chlorophyll in them, right? They
yeah,
can use the sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to make glucose and release oxygen in that process. So plants
yeah,
are self-sufficient because of their ability to produce the food. While we humans and most of the animals are heterotrophic organisms, meaning that they cannot produce their own food. We'll be depending directly or indirectly on the plants for our energy requirement. Herbivores should be consuming the plants, and carnivores should be consuming the herbivores. So the energy
yeah,
flows in the food chain that is actually originating from the plant now, right? Additionally, along with relying on the food now, like we are already relying for food in the plants directly or indirectly, but we are also relying for oxygen on the plants. Getting it now? So
yeah,
animals rely on oxygen also that is produced by the plant for respiration. Hope
yes.
that answers the question. Okay. See question number 29.
How will you experimentally show that there are two regions in a magnet where its magnetic strength is concentrated?
Yes, remember we did learn about this in the class. Yes, Salima.
Uh,
Just require a sheet of paper. You require a sheet of paper. You require a bar magnet, and you require some iron fillings. Remember
oh yeah,
that one, no? Hmm.
yes,
Okay, no. So you can easily demonstrate it. Basically, we have to show the that there are two regions in a magnet where the magnetic strength is concentrated. Basically, we are talking about the poles of the magnet. So we have taken
yes.
a bar magnet here.
Sir, on the top and the bottom, the magnetic force is more,
Hmm.
and on the middle, like in the side of the poles, it is like
Mhm. How did we prove this? Basically, you have to demonstrate the experiment. No? The first thing what you're going to do in the question, you're going to write down the materials that are required. What
iron
materials are
filling,
needed? Hmm.
iron filling bar any magnet,
Just take a bar shaped magnet that will be convenient.
and a
Sheet
sheet
of
of
paper.
paper.
The steps are as follows. The steps are basically the procedure is as follows.
Yeah,
So you're going to place the bar magnet on a flat surface and cover it with
yeah,
a sheet of paper. Basically, take a sheet of paper and put a bar magnet on it, and gently sprinkle some iron fillings over the paper, and make sure that you
and
cover
tap
the
the paper.
area. Yeah, on the entire paper. Make sure you cover the area around the magnet, and then tap
Yes,
the paper lightly to allow the iron fillings to settle according to the magnetic field here. So what you will
yes,
observe that the iron fillings would accumulate around the end of the magnets like this. More iron fillings will be accumulated around the at the end of the magnets. So this is the place what we have observed here, that the two end of this magnet is the place where the magnetic strength is strongest.
strong. Yeah,
And in the middle of the iron, we'll see that only few iron fillings will be attracted, which shows that the
yeah,
magnetic strength is weaker in that region. No?
yeah.
Okay, that is one thing.
Sir,
Main
concentrated means weaker only, right?
concentrated.
Yeah.
Concentrated is we can say like it's concentrated here in this term will mean it is accumulated. Okay, na?
Yes.
Concentrated means like it is stored at that place. It is stored at that place. Okay, na? So it says where its magnetic strength is concentrated. So here you can take this term as strong.
Okay, sir.
Strong. Okay, na? Okay. The other two ones I think you can answer. Answer the B one. We have learned about
Mention the
this.
precautions you should always take while handling a magnet.
Hmm.
Sir, uh, sir, any like we can make any 2 points also, right?
You can make several points out of this.
Sir, you're not supposed to hammer the magnet as
Yes, you are
do
not
not
going to
hammer
hammer
the
it.
magnet. You're not supposed to like
Hmm. Yes, keep it away
put
from the
it in.
electronics.
Yes.
Okay, no? So
Keep
keep,
away from the electronics as it can harm the.
okay, like it can harm the electronic device. Okay, na?
Yeah.
Plus, you should store it properly,
Yes.
isn't it? So store it properly. So store magnets always in the pairs with their opposite poles placed together.
Placed together. Yeah.
Okay, then that is one thing. Plus, few other things were also they try to recall it, Halima.
Mm,
Mhm. Try to recall it. Like even if it's take a minute, then but still try to recall the things. Okay, no. Hmm.
uh,
Yes. Should you put it in the fire? Should the magnets be put in fire?
no.
No. So you should avoid it from extreme heat. Now,
Yes.
okay,
Avoid it from extreme heat.
okay. So
And one
these,
more.
yes,
One more word there. I forgot.
or like extreme cold also.
Yeah.
Extreme cold can also damage it. Okay, it can weaken the magnet. Okay. Okay. Now the next question is: will a strong magnet attract a piece of paper? If yes, why?
Copper.
If no, why? Yeah. Obviously, it's a no. 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 Copper
Yeah.
is
It's no.
non-magnetic. No. Copper is not magnetic. Okay.
It's a non-magnetic. It
Exactly.
cannot
Okay.
get attracted.
Few questions are left. Let's see if we can do it. Like question number 30 and A, like how are shadows form? We already know about this. Whenever the pathway of the light will be obstructed by an opaque object, and if there's a screen, the shadow will be formed. You have to
Yeah.
compare an image formed by plane mirror and a shadow. Image formed by plane mirror and shadow. Yeah. So, for example, if your shadow is formed, so will you be able to look at like what's the color of the cloth you are wearing?
No.
Nothing, no details are
Only a
mentioned.
black shadow will be formed.
Only a black shadow will be formed. That will be basically giving a general idea about the shape of the body. Okay, na?
Yeah.
That is the case. But when we look in the image, details are given
In the
here.
mirror, we can see our face, our color of the cloth, and
Exactly. While in the case of the shadow and image is formed due to reflection. No? This is
yeah,
formed when reflection takes place.
reflect.
While shadow is formed when light is blocked
Light is blocked by
by
the
an
opaque.
opaque object. Okay. Plus, what we know that shadow is a real phenomenon. It is actually happening.
Yeah.
But in the camera, is your actual image formed there? Like, did someone drew your image in the mirror? No, it's a virtual thing. No.
Yeah.
Okay, I wrote it opposite here. Actually, you're supposed to go there. Just 1 minute. Hmm. Talking about shadow, I say that it's a real phenomena. It's actually happening. Getting what I'm trying to say? But the image
Oh,
is it's
shadow is
virtual. No?
real phenomenon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. No? So the case of image, it's virtual. Like it appears to be forming on the mirror, but it is actually not there.
Yeah.
While talking about the image is colorful, while the shadow is
Yeah.
always darker.
Black, dark, black.
Okay. Hmm. That is one thing. Talking about the size. So images of the same size, na?
Yeah. In shadow, when the sun is when
Hmm.
it's afternoon, it depends
It
on the
basically
angle,
exactly
angle
it
of
changes.
the.
It changes on two factors upon the angle of the incoming light rays on the object that is falling,
Yeah.
the angle at which the light ray are falling on the opaque object, plus the distance between the source of light and the opaque object.
Yes.
Okay. Plus in the case of the image is sharp and well defined, but shadow can be blurry now. It
Yes.
can be blurry while the image is sharp. So many differences are there. Okay, now
Yes.
question number C says that shadow is irrespective of color of light. You have to comment in this. Yeah. Shadow
Respect.
is irrespective of color of light. Basically, what do you understand from this? Try to think about this. Yes, Salima?
Sir,
Shadow.
irrespective means
Okay, see. Basically, the question here is saying that Like we can elaborate it in this manner. For example, we know that shadow is formed whenever an opaque object will be blocking the pathway of light.
Yeah.
Right now, okay. What we know about the nature of the shadow, like regardless of whether the light source is white or whether it is red, blue, or any color, the shadow will still appear as a darker region on any given surface. Now,
Yes.
whether, for example, say that you have an opaque object, so whether the white light is going to fall on it, whether the red light, whether the green light, on the opposite side on the screen, always a dark region is going to be formed now.
Yeah.
So irrespective, okay now. So shadows irrespective of color of light, meaning that whatever kind of colored light is going to fall on the object, always the shadow that will be formed will be a darker region. It will still appear as a darker region on the surface. Okay,
Yes.
that is one thing. Okay now. So shadows are independent of the color of the light in terms of their formation. So they result from the blocking of a light by an object. That is the case. Okay now. Okay,
Yes.
few questions are left to be discussed. Let's do this quickly till the other student joins. Okay, no, then the class will be discontinued if the other student joins. Okay.
Yes.
Identify the process and label the parts B, C, and D.
Sir,
Hmm.
the process is distillation.
The process is distillation. Very good. Is it distillation? How is it distillation?
Oh,
Huh?
not this. No, it's
It's
not distillation.
filtration. Filtration is going on, no? The process is filtration.
Oh yeah.
Okay, no? The part B is the conical flask. The C is the filter paper, and D is the glass beaker here. No,
Yes, sir.
actually, you have to identify the parts. Okay, okay, see. The B here is the conical flask, okay. C here is the filter paper, okay, and D here is the filtrate
Beaker.
actually. No,
Sorry,
no,
filter.
filtrate now. Getting it now, that is
Oh,
the thing.
it's. Oh yeah, it's free.
Understood this, okay. Further, how is this method better than sedimentation and decantation? Yes. How is this method better? Mhm.
Sedimentation and better than sedimentation. Said it is better than sedimentation and decantation as we can drink water. Like it is filtered in that manner.
Hmm. By the way, B here actually, if I were to zoom it clearly, like this one was being asked, I didn't look at it. Actually, the B here, this is the thing, Alima. Getting at this one. Actually, this is the
Oh, the broad
filter
line.
paper. Yeah, that one. So that is actually the filter paper. Okay, now. Okay, getting it. And
Sir,
C here.
and what is this P?
Yeah. Yeah, C here is the funnel then. C here is the funnel. Getting it now.